Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this week's installment of 3 Minutes to Vitality. This week we're going to continue a little bit talking about that term called probiotics. A week or two ago we talked a little bit about probiotics and studies that were showing how it decreases inflammation in our body, which is the beginning of just about every disease. Well, this week I want to talk a little bit about how probiotics affect immune function. Now, remember, we in modern America today require supplementation of a probiotic simply because we actually get such a fancy thing called dysbiosis, abnormal balance of bacteria in our colon because of our lifestyles. We have chlorinated water that we're drinking all the time. We have antibiotics that we use excessively, unfortunately. We use antimicrobial soaps all over the place. We have too much sugar in our diets. The average American is consuming 40 teaspoons of sugar a day. Right, so we have too much excessive animal protein, all kinds of things that affect, those are the things that affect the balance of bacteria in the colon. And unfortunately, then we're not eating enough vegetables and fruits, which are the things called prebiotics, which are what the bacteria actually live off of and eat. So we're not getting enough of that, and we're getting a lot of other stuff that messes it up. So it's incumbent in America today that we actually are using a quality probiotic. Now, nothing could be more important than our immune function, our ability to fight disease, from the common cold to pneumonia to cancer. The immune system actually affects and protects and defends us. And it's found in current research that nearly 80%, the vast preponderance of our immune regulatory function, happens in response to signaling and balances from our colon, and specifically from the bacteria that reside in our colons. And remember, there's a huge number of bacteria in there, nearly double. It's significant, and the numbers vary, but it's close to 100 trillion bacteria in our colons alone. It's an amazing number, right? And they control this function. They do it in a couple of different ways. One of the biggest ways they do is they actually help release these anti-inflammatory cytokines, which actually inhibit immune function. They actually signal white cell activity. There's all kinds of different white cells that defend our bodies in response to invaders. They actually defend us against viruses that actually enter the body and get into our bodies through the colon and the gut, and actually are amazing defenders against that as well. One of the things, there's a recent study that came out that was looking at, we've all heard of MRSA, MRSA, and that's methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, Staphylococcus aureus. And it's one of the most damaging bacteria that we can actually have. One of that 5% of bacteria around that is actually pathogenic or disease-causing for us. And most of those occur in the hospital. 80% or more occur in the hospital. But studies are showing us that when we swab the general public in the United States, nearly 40% of us have MRSA residing in our nasal passages, and 20% of us have MRSA actually in our colons. So anything that happens can actually make us susceptible to the expression of that, and it is very, very difficult to get rid of because it's resistant to methicillin and lots of other antibiotics. So it becomes very, very difficult to get rid of. Excuse me, probably kills 25,000 people a year. It's pretty bad. So one of the things that we want to know with this in this research, they were looking at are there ways that actually we can protect against staph infections before they happen, so our bodies are stronger and can defend beforehand. Well, what they found in this research, which was really amazing, is that people had certain levels of bacteria in their colons, healthy, and they're called bacillus. Right? In our colons, these certain amounts of these, in certain balances, did not have MRSA in their nasal passages, or in their guts, which is really a phenomenal finding. And it was vice versa. So if the balance in the colon was screwed up, right, we actually saw that we'd have Staph aureus actually be present. If the balance in the right proportion was there, we wouldn't have Staph aureus. Wow, talk about defense against one of the strongest invaders we can have. And this research is validating the fact of how profoundly helpful it can be to actually have this balanced bacteria in our colons. Research has also shown that people who actually have balanced colons, kids have literally about 80% fewer sick days and lost days from school and the workplace. We see the average number of lost days a year go from like 6 or 7 days down to 1 or 2 for people who have properly balanced bacterial colonies in their colons. Pretty crazy stuff, but absolutely factual. So that's one of the reasons why in our office, one of the strategies we use a lot is to make sure that we actually are incorporating this with a very potent, very effective, multi-strained supplement. It's one little tablet that takes care of it and really helps to repopulate the colon to give us that internal defense even more so than would otherwise be the case. So we have inflammation, we have immune function. We'll be discussing a couple other ones that probiotics can fabulously help us with, and so easily. So that's it for this week. Look forward to next time. Thank you.